Sir, do you have any idea how super cool you are?
Yeah, thanks.
And today's topic comes from requests I've had multiple times in comments or on my Instagram. That question is, how did you convince your parents to let you get so many reptiles? Or, similarly, how do I convince my parents to let me get a snake? If you stick around, I will share my story and how I did it. So, how do you convince your parents to let you get a snake? Well, I don't know your parents, or their thoughts or feelings about snakes, or your situation, so I can't really tell you exactly how to convince your parents, but I can tell you how I, as the daughter of a lifelong ophidiophobe, came to have a decent-sized, scaly, and or legless family, and Romeo is... What have you done? Mother, would you come help, please? Okay. Thank you. Hi. And maybe some of that might help you if you are trying to make a case for a snake or other reptile to your parents or siblings or roommates or significant other or robot overlord. So, some backstory. From when I was old enough to walk, I would go fishing with my dad all the time. We still do to this day, almost every single weekend if the weather is good. I love fishing, but it's not always riveting entertainment, especially when I was little. So we would take breaks while fishing to go exploring for other wildlife. Frogs are probably my favorite animal, but you can always catch a frog, right? Catching a snake, on the other hand, was something special.
Did it poop on me?
Yeah, I know, it's disgusting.
They were just so cool and so incredibly different from any other animal. The way that they move, the way that they interact with you. Once they figured out that you weren't going to kill them and they stopped biting you, of course.
I got bit.
You got bit, let's see.
Anyway, I have always had a fascination with these little living shoelaces. My dad thought that they were really cool too, but my mom, yeah, not so much. She was terribly afraid of snakes all her life. She put on a brave front when I was little because she didn't want me to pick up on that and develop my own irrational fears. But as I got older, it became more and more clear that my mom was definitely not a fan of nope ropes. But my love and fascination with them and other reptiles grew, and I knew that working with reptiles in some way was what I wanted to do when I grew up. But getting a pet snake wasn't really an option for a long time. My dad never really thought of having a snake as a pet. He thought they were really cool, but not something that you could really connect with, you know? He was okay with it conceptually, but it was a hard no-go with my mom. I knew that one day I would have a pet snake, even if that was when I was all grown up and living on my own. So I started doing research for that one day. This is how I first found Emily at Snake Discovery and started watching as much as I could. My mom, in an effort to face some of her fears, would occasionally watch with me. And even though the snakes made her uncomfortable, she really liked Emily's enthusiasm and the information that she shared. As she learned more and more, it started to break down some of the misconceptions she had about snakes. As my mom learned, she opened up to the possibility of getting a snake. At her suggestion, I did a whole project on various pet snakes, the pros, the cons, costs, benefits, housing and husbandry needs, etc., and presented it to her. Doing this helped my mom see my level of dedication and the commitment I had, and obviously still have, to take care of the snake. After some deliberation and consideration and other words that end in shun, we took to Kijiji to see what snakes were available. And we settled on my very first corn snake, Apricot. At first, my mom was still not completely okay with Apricot, but she was on board to try to get to know her and did a great job of working to become more comfortable with her. On my last day of school in grade 6, I brought Apricot into school. Don't worry, I had permission, of course. I didn't just smuggle her in my backpack. For a show and tell, and with my parents watching, presented her to my friends and classmates. I really enjoy teaching people about snakes. and watching people react with wonder or uncertainty or curiosity all over a little corn snake. It was just incredible. It was here when my mom had the realization that this was what I was going to do with my life, and she needed to be fully on board or miss a big part of it. We talked about ways I could make a go of reptile education, and I told her I wanted to do something like Emily, Clint, and other reptile YouTubers. I also wanted to do live educational shows, but because of COVID, those never really happened. And we started to think of ways to integrate this into my homeschool curriculum. I've got the normal math, science, and language stuff, but then I also have the research and creating the content, science-based, but it also leads into geography and social studies and politics even. And writing the scripts gives you presentation skills towards language studies. I've got technical skills with the equipment and the editing software, studying how YouTube works, social media, analytics, algorithm, debating skills, and of course other things that I can branch off of that catch my interest. Basically, most of my videos are each like a little school project. Sadly, Apricot passed away from some type of seizure only a couple months after I started my channel, and I miss her a lot, but I am so grateful for what she helped kick off. As I learned more and more about snakes, so did my parents, and they helped me edit my scripts. There are plenty of trolls on the internet who are eager to jump on any mistake someone like me might make. So behind all of the research I do, my parents were double and triple checking to make sure that the information is as accurate as possible. As the saying goes, education is the antidote for ignorance. And as she learned more and more, my mom's fear of snakes quickly faded. She is now completely comfortable with all of my snakes. She even has one of her own. Tituba here is her baby, but she lets me borrow her whenever I want. So here we are. I have so many reptiles because through my love and passion for them, I was able to convince my supportive parents that making educational reptile content was something that was A, worth doing, and B, immensely rewarding for me and my folks. Neat, eh? So that's my story. But to distill it down to a few points of some useful advice, I guess I would say, 1, be sincere and passionate about what you want, and make your case with good information and a reasoned argument. Bringing in any pet is not something to be done on a whim. It has to be something that you really want to incorporate into your life. This creature will be 100% dependent upon you, and you owe it to any animal you bring into your family the very best care you can give it. It can't just be willy-nilly. 2, reduce misconceptions or fears about snakes through education. Watch some good, entertaining, calming snake or reptile content like Snake Discovery, Clint's Reptiles, Lori Torini, All Canadian Reptile Girl maybe? There are others that have good content too, and if you want to know the channels that I watch, you can find that out in this Q&A video right here. My point is to research and show responsible and respectful reptile husbandry, and you'll be halfway there in my opinion. Visit reptile stores and ask if you can handle some of the snakes that are for sale. Let your parents or partner or roommate, whomever, see you interact with the snakes. Maybe they'll decide right then and there and they'll change their minds. Or maybe they'll be brave enough to try holding it, and that's an awesome step in the right direction.
Another incredible way to help your family members get over their fear of snakes or other reptiles are reptile expos. Here you'll meet knowledgeable, passionate people who love reptiles. Obviously, they've made businesses out of them. It's just so much fun. There are so many knowledgeable people willing to help you or whomever you're trying to help get over their fear. So definitely check out a reptile expo. You will not be disappointed. There's just such a diversity in the animals. It's insane, honestly. Like, you'll see animals here you never would have thought you'd see anywhere else. Check out an expo.
Step 3. Communicate who is going to be responsible for what aspects of the care. Is it all going to be you, or are there others willing to help? And explain how you will be accountable to that. 4. Be patient. Overcoming fears and biases is not something to be done in one conversation. Look at my mom. It took her a few months of me working to convince her before she agreed. So hang in there, and as long as you're being respectful, don't give up. Well, there you go. If you are looking to convince family members or housemates that a pet snake is a good addition to your home, I hope that my story and advice helps you. If you think it might, please consider hitting that like button. That really helps me out a whole bunch. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember to nurture all nature. Bye! Why are your scales so grippy? You're not arboreal. What do you need them for? Just go slither on the ground and then stop. Oh. You just smacked me in the face. I was like, how dare you insult my skills? Alright, is my hair good enough to film? Yes. Alright. So, plenty of trolls on the internet eager to jump on any mistake someone like me might make. Beckett, please stop scratching. I am aware of you. I know you want cuddles. Can it wait literally a minute? Oh,
Tell us how you really feel. I'm not going to get it.
oh, there's a paw under the door. As the saying goes, education. Okay, I'm smiling too much now.
They'll be like, what is going on behind the scenes? Shenanigans.
As the